All right, cool. This next poem is called Sonnet 18.5.
Very specific here.
Summer's day and you, no comparison. Warmth you give, summer is a Berenson. Light brighter than a sun, prettiest flower. Be in your presence hours upon hours. The longest day is still way too short. The moon and the stars become your escort. My resort, paradise personified. Spring's sexy mistress and autumn's timeless bride. Winter glares from afar, hoping paths collide. Nature certified, while my heart's open wide. Boast this with pride. I'm here to endorse this. You're my summer, you're my seasonal high point, my solstice. I'm in your grasp, your clasp, your sultry clutch, caressed in the stillness in your star-kissed touch.
So for this poem, this was the illustration for this one. It goes across 2 pages, kind of takes up the left one and goes across the whole thing. So to me, this poem kind of seemed like you were either thinking of someone almost as your entire world. They're your universe. You kind of revolve around them. And so that's where I went with it, almost as if the universe herself was your lover. And so you're also a star to her. So she's got you in her sultry clutch, and you're reaching up towards her, and she has a smile on her face. She's happy to have you, and you are glowing because of her. But I think just the idea of someone being your universe to an extent where you revolve around them a little bit, or you adapt to be a part of their lives, or you not necessarily sacrifice, but for lack of a better word, sacrifice parts of you just to become a part of someone else's world. Because that's what you do when you fall in love. You mend into one person almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny. This poem actually isn't really about any one particular, and like I said, not all these poems are. This poem was literally me in the middle of writing these poems. Was like, what would happen if I wrote my own version of like Shakespeare's Sonnet 18? Like if I just kind of like made an addendum to it. And that's why it's called Sonnet 18.5. Because, Shakespeare's famous quote is, or like from that sonnet is, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And so me, saying summer's day and you, there's no comparison. So I just kind of was like, while I was writing these other poems, my brain just kept being like, hey, you should try this. Why? What would happen if you like kind of wrote like an addendum to Shakespeare's Sonnet 18? And that's just where this came from. So I literally just kind of was like, okay, what am I doing? Where am I writing my own? So in the same sense, like where that poem Danseuse, where it was everything was in the 1 2 3 1 2 3. Shakespeare wrote in iambic pentameter, and all his sonnets were in iambic pentameter. I wrote this poem in iambic pentameter, which is basically like a 10 syllable breakdown. So yeah, I just wrote it in iambic pentameter. Tried to do as best I could, just making my own, my addendum to Shakespeare's.
I feel like slightly uncultured. I wish I would have like understood the reference to it, because now that you're talking about it, that first line is just like, oh damn,
Yeah.
okay, oh yeah. And
Yeah.
we never like we never really chatted about what the poem meant to him versus me illustrating it. It was me reading his poem and then drawing, what I felt like it was about. So now this is kind of my first time actually hearing about what all of these actually mean, and I think your first time hearing what the drawings actually mean.
Yeah.
And so it is interesting to see. That's like my favorite part about art in general is how different people can interpret it.
Yeah.
Compared to what you were thinking. And that's just, I think that's the beauty of art is how everyone can relate to it in almost such different ways, differently drastic ways.
Yeah. I definitely, like working with you in that sense that, like, there are definitely things that you, even with, like, the hip-hop stuff, I'll have the idea, but I can't get it out of here, and you will pull it, the way, and I'm like, yeah, that works, it works the way, and sometimes it's even better than what I think about, and so I like the fact that, like, I look at these poems and the illustrations all the time, and I think it's a good marriage of art coming together. Yeah. I remember one time talking to a poet and saying to her, a poet, the cool thing about a poet is that they can take the rough and the raw, coal of, like, life, and then they can press it into something beautiful, like a diamond. And so, I guess I'm now talking about myself.
This is your diamond.
This is the
diamond.